Hey guys, Saf coming at you with the first video in the free-to-play 2023 series that I'll be doing on this channel. If you have not heard about it, where have you been? There is a free-to-play challenge going on now between Hellhades and the team, a bunch of different creators, and you can also get involved. So if you head over to hellhades.com and you check out the homepage, there is a free-to-play 2023 website link there. You can go into there. This page will be tracking all of the free-to-play 2023 series challenges across all the different challenges, and it has information in terms of how you can get involved. We've set out the rules here of what you can and cannot do. You can get some information on everyone who's taking part. So Hellhades, all of the HH Gaming crew, alongside Lady H herself, who is obviously a complete novice, and it's great to see how she's going to get on with these things. We've got Odd One Gaming, YST, we've got Earbad, the king of free-to-play, and we've also got Deadwood Jedi, the king of clan boss. So you've got a really good wide variety of different mindsets and focuses coming on into this series challenge here. You can follow them on Twitter, YouTube, you can see what their videos are, the latest in the series, and a bunch of other things. We're going to have some challenger and some community trackers on here, so you'll be able to see against different milestones such as dragon progression, dungeon progression, campaign progression, how far each challenger has got, where is the ranking leaderboards, and that will also be there for the trackers. Hopefully we'll get that live next week. If you want to take part in this, you can still take part in it. Head to the bottom of this page. There are instructions on how you can sign up, how it all works, different things, how it's tracked through the optimizer, and how everything kind of works together. Go check that out if you are interested in having a different challenge for the start of 2023. But with that said, how did we get on with the start? So the challengers, the 10 of us, basically we spun a wheel and we chose at random our 4 starters and also our promo code starters. There's like 5 different promo codes you can start with different champions. We've got a link on the hellhades.com page with all of those promo codes. You can choose to start with someone like Mordecai or Deacon or Chanura or Talia. There's a bunch of different options. And we basically started with that. So we spun the wheel, everyone got it at random, and I managed to draw the best start probably that you could get, which is Deacon and Kael as a starter. We started these accounts on Friday, so by now we're at day 3.5, give or take, into this competition. And we have got some crazy progress already. In this video, what I want to kind of do is go over a bit of an introduction in terms of what my initial goals are going to be. We're going to be pulling my initial shards whilst the time to ancient is on. We're also going to be looking at things that I have discovered as an end game player that I completely forgot about that matter so much in the early game, and some tips and tricks in terms of how, if you're playing along, you can get some free rewards. So let's start with, first off, what is my initial goal? When I started a new account, my first goal was always going to be progress with Kael. Your starter is normally very powerful. They normally have better multipliers than most other rares or uncommons in the game. You're not going to get access to necessarily a lot of big champions early on unless you get extremely lucky. We have seen a lot of community members get extremely lucky with pulling some legendaries. We'll find out if I get any luck in a bit, probably won't. But the goal here is get Kael to 50 and get masteries on him as soon as possible. Masteries make a massive difference to the way that you can progress. You pick up things like Life Drinker. You pick up things like Cycle of Violence, which is pretty strong early on when you need to clear these campaign stages. There's different options you can go. Some people have gone down the defense tree to be able to make it more tanky. I've gone down the support tree because I know eventually I'm going to want this Master Hexer and this Sniper to try and improve the poisons for clan boss. And to be honest, the defense tree is not that dramatically important for me early on. Cycle of Violence is really important so that you can try and reset his 1 AoE ability pretty early on. And then obviously we've got enough scrolls. We'll get War Master as soon as we can 6-star him, which takes a while, I'll be honest. I burnt a fair amount of brews. I picked up some of the rares early on from campaign, and I managed to get him to 5-star after day 1. But you can see my food stockpile is pretty poor. We're working our way up to just basically making 1 5-star, and we've got to make 5 of these 5-stars. So it's going to be pretty rough going. We'll see what we get. Maybe we get an epic we don't really care about. We might use that for food. So that was goal 1. How do we do that? A combination of missions and a combination of challenges. Do not ignore challenges early on. The amount of energy you gain from these artifact challenges in particular, they're a bit annoying. They're silly things like farm, stage 1 on normal until you get a certain type of artifact. They're frustrating and it can sometimes feel like a waste of energy, but I've been able to replenish most of my energy pool from doing these particular artifact challenges. I've also picked up some ancient shards from these challenges as well, and some dungeons. I picked up an ancient shard by just completing stage 4 on Spider. Also, be doing your arena. I'm already at part 3. You can see again, you get arena refills. I've already got 3 of the main ones here. You always want to go attack except for void early on, because there is a challenge to upgrade attack early on. Now I'm going to be going down an accuracy tree, probably focusing on magic and spirit first because I've got Deacon and Kael. So that was the first focus. Missions give you a lot of energy early on, even if they kind of send you backwards. I'm at this kind of upgrade 4 champions to level 40 now, which I'm a bit stuck at. I know other people in the challenge are already probably on to the next path. But then you can see I'll be straight on, I'll get another epic book and we'll be going through. I have been upgrading my Kael's skills. I've already got 6 epic books and I've already got 10 rares. I've booked Kael pretty much full, except for this last one, because I think there's a mission or something coming up that's going to require me to fully book a champion. So you can see I've made a lot of progress. He's already at level 5, fully leveled up. We've already got masteries on him, and I've literally just unlocked the first tier of gem mine. Gem mine is going to give me passive gem income as long as I play it long enough. It takes a while for it to pay off. Ideally, you've got to upgrade it fully. I mean, it's 1,500 gems to fully upgrade it. But even at this period, if I'm playing it regularly enough, I'm going to get 1 every 4 hours and 48 minutes, which is what? 1 every 5 hours. So 5, 10, 15, 20. I should be able to get 5 a day. So I'm getting 5 extra gems a day. It's not crazy amounts right now, but over time, over a week period, it'll add up. And these gems, because we can't spend any money on a free-to-play, they will add up. So I've prioritized gem mines second after my masteries first. Some people might want to get masteries on a couple more champions. Personally, for me, just getting the masteries on Kael is enough. That gets me progression. The other thing I'm doing here, you've noticed red dots. I'm holding my refills because right now I have not got a very efficient refill cycle, because we haven't got the fully cap. Until we get to level 60, we won't get this cap at 160. So I'm holding them as long as I possibly can in case I can get some extra energy, right? I don't have to accept these until 3 more days when my weekly resets. Then I can accept them. I'm holding this right to the last minute of the day so that I can try and climb more levels. I've got some energy refills in my inventory. I don't have to take them for days. I'm holding on to them. These are like little min-maxes that can really help. Now, some of the things I found frustrating. This is the bit where I'm going to talk about where an end game player completely forgets about things. Firstly, some of these unlocks are a nightmare. Level 30 for a forge, upgrading artifacts until you can't instant upgrade until level 40 is brutal. It feels awful. How did we ever play this game when we didn't have instant upgrade? I don't know. It's crazy. You do have some silly quests like upgrading things to level 12, so we've had to burn a bit of silver on stuff we wouldn't normally do. But I've got my boots, my starter lifesteal up to 16, and I've got my starter gloves, because generally they're good stats for what I need right now, and I need my starter to be as strong as possible. My goal right now is to go farm some speed boots in campaign. That's what I'll be doing soon. We've got some 5-star rare things here. We did complete the novice tournament. We'll talk about the novice tournament in a minute. But generally speaking, the unlocking of different things is weird. Like I can't, the Forge Pass, it would be great if we could start gaining progression along the Forge Pass for daily quests. Not necessarily buy it, but the free path would give us lots of resources. You can't get that to level 40. To be honest, even if you were a spender, that's a bit bonkers, because the Forge Pass early on is really good. It's a good access to things. A couple of other things that I realized I could do quite easily. I picked up some clan quests. And I completed them pretty quickly, right? Fill the turn meter of all allies in Classic Arena. That's easy to do even at level 1. I picked up another one here. I picked up exactly the same one, but I picked it up in normal instead. And then I was smart. There's a novice tournament going on. I'm playing really hard. So I picked the one that said finish in one of the top 3 positions in the tournament. 350 clan gold. I may not spend this clan gold right now, but clan gold is access to Yannicka, Yakal, access to potentially high-end artifacts, which Spider is going to be a tricky thing. So if we can get to a clan level 5, which is going to take us a while, it's a brand new clan, we could start unlocking these things. I could get some energy. There's options here that makes this really worth doing. Now let's talk about the novice tournament. I came second in my novice tournament. Kael, I can't say his name, managed to come first. But to be honest, I'm quite happy with second. Why? 75 gems is more valuable to me than an ancient shard early on. Gems is all about masteries, gem mine, and masteries again. Once you get 2 or 3 champions that your masteries, your gem mine fully upgraded, then gems become less important. But early on, access to gems is really important. The rare book, you get enough of them early on, you don't need it. And the ancient shard is a lucky pot. The important thing, whenever you do a novice tournament, whenever you start a new account, get these 5-star speed gear. It's not always going to roll great for you. Mine rolls pretty badly. I didn't get any speed on any of them. But I know that Never in the challenge and Fiction in the challenge, I think, got 5-star speed boots. That's a lot of energy saved. That's a really, really big pull already. So finish these sidebars here. That's really important. A couple of other things that I've realized is very high value here. Affinity is majorly important early on in this game. It's far more important than late game. It's still important in the late and end game, don't get me wrong. Affinity is going to make the difference between you clearing stages and not clearing stages. For example, here, right, we're climbing in Brutal. I've managed to make it to Brutal campaign in day 2, but you can see in normal campaign, there are stages I haven't completed. Why? Because of affinity. If they're force affinity, you will clear them a lot slower because your starter is always magic. Now, I've got Deacon. Deacon can help me because he's the different affinity. So where Kael is weak, Deacon is strong. But you will find that trying to 3-star some of these things, trying to clear them, affinity really matters. So keep that in mind. Some people have started with Chinuru, and it's made a big difference because Chinuru can clear the campaign just as good as a starter. You just have to manual it, and she's a different affinity. So affinity for me has been the biggest deal. And the other thing, a lot of people have said Deacon Kael is a cheat code. Yes, but Deacon Unascended doesn't get an extra turn. And this makes a massive difference, believe it or not, because whenever you're fighting, you're having to make a decision between, do I want the AoE debuff or do I want the turn meter gain? And early on, you don't have speed, right? My Kael right now has got 157 speed, pretty good for going for day 1, I would say. He's nearly at 100% crit rate, but he's got maxed out speed boots, right? My Deacon is nowhere near right now. He's at 134 because I need to farm some more speed gear. I need to get him in. He's also in the shield set. Shield set is actually, I put him in it because I was struggling to clear stages. Shield set just gives you some extra HP to try and help you get through some of those difficult waves. But not having that extra turn is crazy. Like, it's a difference. It redefines the champion. And actually ascending him is really difficult early on. Getting these potions early on is very difficult. Yes, your keeps are unlocked for 7 days, but trying to farm higher stages early on is sometimes detrimental because you don't want to waste the energy. You want to be trying to get your starter to level 6 because rank 6 really makes a difference. It really kind of gives you access to War Master. It's going to push you on in Clan Boss. It's so vital. It's going to mean that you can probably farm 12-3 Brutal. It's going to be a lot easier. Right now, my champion, my Kael, is starting to struggle to farm on his own at around about stage 7. So you don't really want to farm these. And even if you farm them, trying to get this is quite difficult. So Unascended Deacon has been a bit of a problem. These are some of the things that an endgame player, like that I've been playing as for the last 3 years, that I've completely really forgotten about, because you get a new champion, you just throw pots in it. You don't even think about how many potions you need to farm because you just build them up over time. Whereas I'm now on the sort of doldrums. I've got barely any potions. I'm scraping things together to try and complete them. Now, the cool thing for this so far in our progression, we've got these anniversary events going on, and actually we've progressed really well. We're almost at the end of this Dungeon Divers. We will probably get this ancient shard during this video. Champion training obviously has been a focus for me early on. I probably will try to get this epic book in the next 17 hours. It might be a bit of a hefty grind today to do it, but if I can get the ancient shard as well, times 2 ancients is the only time I'm going to be pulling shards, so I might as well try and get that today. And we also have the artifact enhancement event where I was able to pick up 3 of those greater spirit potions. Like I said, farming potions is difficult. This is a massive gain for me. Get a bit more energy as well. So we don't get any tournaments because the novice tournament kind of locks you out. So we definitely cannot get the Pythian Fusion, which is a shame because we are getting fragments. But in terms of like just these rewards here, we are getting some decent rewards because the events are on. So it's a good time to start. So that's where we are. The Kael build is looking pretty good. We're farming Brutal campaign, which is great. We're sitting in stage 6 right now because we want speed boots and speed gear. The goal is if I can get 5-star speed boots, even if they're common, put it on Deacon and get Deacon to go before Kael, everything becomes a lot easier. Then when we can get Ascended Deacon, everything becomes great. We're still kind of hitting, in terms of clan boss, we're still hitting easy right now. We're kind of close to 1 key, and you can see Fiction's done really well. He's got himself a Franox, and he's up there now at sort of a 1 key. You can see what he's doing. He's focusing on poisons. My Kael alone can hit about 1 million with a bit of RNG in my team. I haven't hit clan boss today. We might hit it in this video. We'll see what happens. So yeah, that's kind of like day 1 to day 3. It is just a lot of grinding. I spent far too long on Friday. We streamed for like 6 hours as a record stream with so many people getting involved. It was really great fun. But I was a bit burnt out, I'll be honest. So I took a little bit quieter yesterday, but we need to grind out that champion training so we get that epic book so that we can get Deacon booked. Epic books right now are really, really valuable. We can see Odd One has managed to pull a Tomb Lord. I think if you haven't seen it so far, go check out Deadwood's video. I think he's pulled a legendary champion as well. So there's a couple of people getting luck. HH is doing, I don't know if he's done his thing. Yeah, he's done a 2-key 2 million there. He's got Jamasa. He's got himself an Outlaw Monk going. Now, I haven't actually pulled Jamasa yet. I was waiting to see if we were going to get a champion chase, and I might even hold on to her until a champion chase because it's 250 points for free. It's quite big, and I don't really feel like she's going to go into any of my teams instantly. So I'm kind of holding on to her. Big thank you to the people who did a bunch of referrals for me. Tonisano is grinding towards a 3-day XP boost. Saf Poopy Pants, whoever you are, you got me a Void Shard. I appreciate it. Level 10 for Saf. Great, thank you. I might go in afterwards and get these epic books for myself and kind of grind it out because we're allowed to do so as part of the challenge. I don't know if I'll do another account series again, but these 4 sacreds are also very tempting. Getting to level 40 is not so bad. Getting to level 50 is a grind. I mean, I've been grinding for 3 days straight and I'm at level 29. Granted, I've been distracted by doing a bunch of different challenges, which I wouldn't do on a referral account. I'd probably just grind my way through on a normal campaign. So I've been talking for a while. I just wanted to give you a bit of insight in terms of where I'm at. I feel like I've achieved a decent progress. We managed to get number 2. We won. To me, that's winning the tournament. I prefer gems over ancients. We've nearly completed the main events. We've got our Kael to rank 5 with masteries, and we've unlocked a gem mine within basically about 48 to 50 hours. So the real question now becomes, can we get something on an ancient shard? Now, what I'm looking for early on is an ally protector. Or unkillable. Obviously, if I pull an unkillable champion, that's great, right? But one man-eater isn't going to solve my problem. One Demitha might solve some of my problems. But really what I'd like is an ally protector because you always kind of start with a traditional team and an ally protector is so big. If I manage to pull a couple of decent epics along the way, I wouldn't complain. But generally, I think for me, I don't want any sort of the fancy champions. I just want a good old-fashioned ally protector. If we can get something like a Toragi. Toragi would be such a high value pull because we get decreased attack, we get poisons, we get provoke, we get everything we need. He's such a hard carry. I would really, really appreciate him. If we get someone like let's just imagine, if it was a legendary champion, that new Corrigar would be insane, right? He's got an ally protection and a strengthen, increases all my champions' defenses, fills turn meters, cleanses debuffs. That's like a dream. That's like a dream ticket. The Soul for Tyrant would be also quite nice. Any ally protector would do for me. Even some bog standard things that aren't even great, like Lugan. Anything that gives me ally protection. Nizana would also be amazing. You know, AoE decrease attack, ally protection, and an AoE A1. I could put her in a stun set or something like that if I farmed her up, right? So that's what we're looking for early on, an ally protector. And then if we get something like a Tyrell, a decrease attack, that's great. But I'll be honest, I've only got 10 ancients. I'm not expecting much luck. Let's see what we get. Give me even rares, some decent rares. That's not a good start. No. Judge is okay. No. Epic. Okay, we start with an Armina. Now, normally, if I'm playing my main account here, I'd be sitting here going, okay, all of these rares are trash. But there are some interesting options. Now, Armina, Hellhades had this in his last free-to-play, and he was disappointed with her. So we get a decrease in the meters of all enemies by 20%, has a 75% chance, book to, what is it, 5, 75, 80, 85, 95% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn on enemies have their turn meters fully depleted. So that's not really great because you have to fully deplete them. Fills his champion's turn meters each time an enemy receives a stun. Attacks all enemies at 75% chance of placing a decreased defense. In all honesty, this champion, because I've got Deacon, is not so great. It's an AoE decreased defense, but I've got Deacon. The stun doesn't really work. It's at best a decreased turn meter. Do we have anything else that's at all any good here? Judge is really good, but not really for, you know, he's got some debuffs, but nothing you can rely upon. We get some ally accuracy. He does do a lot of damage if you build him strong, but none of these abilities are really crazy. What have we got? Crossbowman here. Increased crit rate on a target ally. Again, these are not ideal. Templar, that's a farmable rare. Runic Warden, does he do anything? Reflect damage. That could be interesting for Fire Knight when we get Rhonda. That plus Rhonda would easily clear a Fire Knight. He doesn't really bring anything else. Well, I suppose we get a decreased attack champion on a 3-turn cooldown. What is it booked to? 35. So it's a 50-50 chance. It could be a reasonable one, but not on a 3-turn cooldown. You'd want guaranteed, really. Sorcerer, decreased speed, a decreased defense. We've already got that, so if I'm being honest, guys, I'm pretty disappointed with that temple. Roughstone, he's not really going to be doing it for me. That was not a good pull at all. We haven't even managed to get any ancient shards from here at all. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with that. But we do complete some challenges, I guess. That's cool. We're working our way towards this. But there's not really anything usable that I would keep there. Did we get anything towards Razin? That's an interesting one. We didn't even get a Razin rare by the looks of it. We didn't get marked. We didn't get it. That's like pretty much if you pull 10 champions, apart from the judge, which I'll sort of put to one side because I know he's decent. The best I could say we got there is food. Because I can't imagine I'll use any of these champions. They just don't do anything. They don't bring me anything. At best, I think a decreased attack champion, which is the Runic Warden. We'll keep the Runic Warden because I think he might be decent because he's a decreased attack champion at least with a reflect. But Hurrier, you know, did they buff Hurrier? 2 random allies join the attack using the default. That's fine. Extra 25% chance of hitting a critical hit, not good. Attacks 1 enemy 3 times, each has a 35%. Oh, so she might be a decent poisoner. But I've got Kael for that. And I'm thinking, do I need another one on top? Probably not. We'll probably keep... I'm pretty sure she's a farmable rare anyway. So she's not a farmable rare, so we'll put the Hurrier to one side as well. So out of the 10 ancients, we've probably kept like 3. I picked up an Heiress already, a Berserker. So we've basically got 6 3-star chickens, which is not the end of the world, right? I mean, we could probably use them right now to feed our champion. We know we're never going to use these champions. But food for me is probably more important. So that is why we are doing this. Get that champion training going. But yeah, pretty rough start for my free-to-play there. Not any decent champions at all that I can use. No ally protector this early on. I hope that is not a sign of things to come. I hope we get a little bit more luck than that. Get some fragments. Obviously, let's see if we can grind out a little bit of this Dungeon Divers. We only need 30 points. Let's see if we can get this ancient and see if we get anything out of one more. So we've ground it out. We've got one more ancient. Can we get anything out of this ancient? Please, gods of all the world. It's a farmable rare. I mean, it's a good farmable rare, but not that good. Not really. That's rough going. So basically what we have traded for the Deacon Kael start is awful shard luck. You know, I don't know if I can get any more shards from anywhere else. Like, what have we got here? We could get one from this dungeon, but I'll be honest, like, some of these challenges are going to be difficult. Like, clear stage 6 of Ice Golem on auto may be possible. Mix 1 superior potion of any affinity. Like, you're asking me to try and mix something I don't have. So, I mean, I could mix a superior, but then we lose all the tier 2 arcane. So that might not really be achievable. Arena's on a legendary book now. None of these give ancient shards. So challenges are out the window. We don't get any ancient shards here. And if I can get 4 champions to level 40, we could be. But that's a lot of grind in one day. We would be able to get through all of these. I don't know what is on the next part. Maybe there's an ancient shard in there. We definitely can get another ancient shard in the champion training. That I will grind out today. I will try and grind out the epic book. The first few days of it at free to play is a heavy amount of grind. And then, of course, that is kind of like where that's the capacity of where we can get them. We might get, I have not had any ancients from the market so far. So there's a potential I could get an ancient in here, which might get me something before the end. But yeah, and I won't buy any sort of gem, like shards with gems. Like, that's not something I would do. So that's kind of like where we're at. Where's my focus going to be? I need to unlock some levels. The Forge at level 30 is a big increase in potential. We can start farming and creating perception gear. Obviously, doing faction wars early on is going to be rough, but you can see I've managed to claim up to 15 stars so far. We could potentially push for another 10 stars if I can clear these and keep my team alive. We get a rare there. But, you know, trying to keep champions alive, I have to basically one-shot these champions. That's the challenge. If I can one-shot them, then we're okay. Now, we haven't tried this so far today, but that's good. Keeping one alive hopefully gets us a reset. This is where Cycle of Revenge, Cycle of Violence comes in handy because we can get that one free reset. This is the stage it's going to be difficult because effectively we have to kill all of these. If any of one of them takes a turn, we're going to lose people. There we go. And then we lose the 3 stars. It's a reverse order. In campaign, you need to do it with less people, keep them alive. In this one, it's more people. So it's always a bit challenging. But potentially, we could get some extra stars here. We haven't really got Sacred Order. One thing with the Armina that we'll keep, obviously, Armina can clear some of these. So it's worth keeping it for faction wars, if nothing else. Yeah, that's the challenge we've got here. But potentially, we might be able to get more of these. But I have been farming some of faction wars. Once we get level 30 Forge unlocked, that's another farming point. And then, yeah, we're just kind of like grinding our way through. The next goal really is upgrading the gem mine to level 2. So that's where all my gem investment and farming is going to come from. And then continuing to farm arena and farming to get a rank 6 Kael. Now, the one new thing in new accounts these days, which I haven't mentioned up until now, is if you create your account with a Plarium ID, so you create a Plarium ID, link it to your account, they give you a free XP barrel. Which normally you would think, it's an XP barrel, it's not that important. But the one moment in time where an XP barrel is really valuable is when you have completed your masteries and you upgrade them to rank 6. The 0 to 60 farm is a lot of brews or farming. The XP barrel is then optimal. And as we are starting our first starter with bought masteries because of efficiency, then that XP barrel, the value of it is huge. I'll be XP barrel in my Kael the moment he hits rank 6. So he instantly gets to level 60 because the difference in stats is huge. You know, the reason why we always buy masteries with gems is because of the time and energy sink. You don't really want to be farming Minotaur anything less than around about stage 15 if you can help it, or stage 13. So buying your masteries on your Kael helps you progress in campaign, helps keep him alive, helps you clear higher XP, means that all your energy is much more efficient. It's worth doing for your first 1 to 2, maybe 3 champions. For me, I'll probably only need to do Deacon and Kael, and then we can start farming Minotaur. But there you go, guys. That is the end of the first episode. A bit of a lot of talking, a lot of explanation. My shard luck is woeful. I'm really disappointed with that. When I see other people like, you know, Deadwood pulling legendaries, Odd One pulling legendaries, it's going to put me behind a little bit. I'm not going to be able to keep up with them. My quest for an ally protector will continue. If you want to keep a track of all of my free-to-play progress, hit that subscribe button. It'll go straight into your notification feed, and then any new video that I release, it'll all be put into the same playlist on this channel. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and keep an eye out on Monday and Thursday. I stream on YouTube now. We will probably be playing a lot of the free-to-play and the main account. Monday will probably be a Nightmare-focused Hydra stream because we need to beat Nightmare for the 2nd time only. So we're going to be probably focusing on that, but come hang out, and I will catch you guys in the next video.